Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the Crockett Show in social media history. I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone. I got my good friend Donovan Sadiq in the building, the Queen, Demetra K, and I am the 5-star general. Say, Critical, you brought that funk, but I'm the master of petty. When I finish with you, find the tallest building in the city, because I'm going to make you want to jump off the top floor. But we got some bigger fish to fry. They shot 2 cops in L.A. But do we really give a damn? We're going to talk about it tonight. Say, man, I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone and tell all you guys thank you for tuning in. You could be somewhere else, but you chose to hang out with the OG and the other 2 OGs. You know, every night, 7 o'clock, y'all tune in. We got nothing but love for y'all. And as I normally say, happy, whatever that may mean. But, you know, I'm here for you, no matter what they say. The first order of business, because we got to really get into what we need to get into. All day long, I've been dealing with my ex-co-host, Crititcal, from the Crititcal Show. And I want to make sure that we understand one thing. I am a member of Street 100, The Heat, The Family, Internet Radio. Good owner, P-Man Hutch, gives people an opportunity to create their own platforms and run their own shows. So I want to send a shout out to him, station manager Maurice Lovell. But all day long, I've been dealing with Gerald Evans, Crititcal, and I've decided that enough is enough. And I want to be able to express myself in a manner that you can feel me. We've dealt with this bogus ass video for about the last 2 months, and today he decides he wants to put the video out because we're supposed to have a conversation with the lady who said that I took something from her, which I didn't because I didn't do the work. Well, what he failed to tell everyone is that he sat on phone calls with me and the principal of the school, Crititcal did. And you heard the lady say that she's done everything that this lady needed to be done with her child. That was one aspect of what needed to be done from an IEP standpoint. The lady wanted her child moved to another school or either homeschool, but I'm in possession of an email that says she didn't want him moved. She sent that to the principal. I'm also in possession of another email that verifies the last order of business I was supposed to take care of, make sure her child did not have a criminal record. And this came straight from the Houston Independent School District Police Department that proves that the child has no criminal record with the actual case number on the email. So my man made it personal today, Demetra, and I'm gonna tell y'all something. We got a nice little team here. We don't get along on everything, but the one thing they know, I'll ride or die for them, so they'll ride or die for me. So one of my teammates called me today. Did you see this? Yeah, I saw it. And when you called me, I'm like, I'm not even tripping because I know what it is. So I'm gonna put it like this here. I'm finna do you like R. Kelly, boy. I'm finna cancel you. And I'm gonna cancel you in a manner. I'm finna take your PS5 from you and sit you in an empty room by yourself for as long as I choose to. And there's nothing that you can do about it right now. See what you're doing? You made it personal. So I think that when I get back to town, I'm gonna dial your number. And I think 2 grown men need to have a conversation because whatever it is that's personal with you is not with me because honestly, my brother, you're not even on my radar. You're not where I'm at. And I know what you're upset about. See, before Demetra and Donovan showed up, y'all know I had some problems with the other co-hosts, and I offered you to come sit on this show with me. But see, you pulled a snake move on your partner who sat on your show for almost a year at that point. And you went over there with them people. And I told you we're going to blow this stuff out the water. And now we done blew it out the water. And I think you got your panties in a bunch. But I think everybody now knows that whatever the issue is with you, that you made it personal. And as a man, it's time for two men to have a conversation. We don't need a bunch of people with us. You know, I know you pack a little pistol, you know, but you can leave the pistol at the house, because if that's the case, I can bring mine too. We can have a conversation like men, because whatever your issue is, then so be it. You made a post about me being narcissistic. Wouldn't a narcissistic person put up a video of an innocent woman that had nothing to do with nothing? Would that make you narcissistic? Or would that just make you messy, like you had a card game where you cutting on the table and you playing for $2 a hand? You got girlish tendencies. Really, I think you're gay. Because I don't know what tendencies you got, because what you doing is not manly like. I'm calling you to the square. So everybody that protects you don't want nothing to do with this. We can either meet and handle it like men, get it out, conflict resolution, or we can meet and we can fight it out, however you want to do it. But this is not going to continue, because contrary to popular opinion, if me and you on the phone, it's only one gangster on the phone, boy. And now I'm gonna make you get in your lane and stay in your place. But your PS5 finna be taken from you. You won't be able to use anybody's platform to disrespect anybody else. Demetri?
Yeah, so as Gary said, it's been quite a eventful day without going into a whole lot of details. I mean, it's kind of par for the course when you are doing great things and more eyeballs start to focus on you. Then people who don't feel really secure in what they're doing, they try to tear you down instead of working on their own craft. And so I agree with you, Gary, that you should go after him and whoever else is, involved in the nonsense to the fullest extent, because one thing had absolutely nothing to do with the other. And I agree with you. It was petty. And there's a lot of envy and jealousy going on with that situation. And so you guys absolutely stay tuned for that. And so anyway, let's get to our topic at hand. So you guys may or may not know, Saturday at about 7 o'clock Pacific time, two sheriffs were shot as they were sitting in their cars. One deputy, 31 female, one 24 male, were ambushed, as they call it, by an unidentified male who came up to the car and shot them both in the head. They have both survived, undergone surgery and all that. It said that they will survive. But of course, now there's this big giant manhunt going on. They have $100,000 bounty out. Obviously, as you know, they are mad as hell. They, being the police, are mad as hell that, one of their own have been attacked, if you will. And this actually happened right after a protest for Dijon Kizzy took place. This shooting took place. And then some protesters showed up at the hospital where the sheriffs were being operated on, and they were chanting. Some people were saying, I hope they die, and that kind of stuff. And a reporter was also rough-housed and arrested for doing absolutely nothing. And so it just kind of like added on to all of the intensity going on. But it should also be said that a lot of people are like, and I'm not saying this is necessarily how I feel, but a lot of people are like, so what? They're now in hot pursuit of the suspect, which again, they have really no description of. They're in hot pursuit. But a lot of people are like, well, what about pursuing your police officers who murder people in cold blood and get away with it? Like, Breonna Taylor was minding her business. She was ambushed and her killers are still on the loose. Why not be just as excited to catch her murderers or have her murderers brought to justice as you are the shooter of these police officers? And so, as I said, you can go on any platform on social media, and most of the comments are very police. Some people are saying stuff like, well, I need to see the what happened before the video, or maybe the shooter should go on desk duty until further investigation, and maybe he was in fear of his life. And so all of those things that they were saying are the things that police officers say when they murder people in cold blood. And so that's what we know so far. There's not a whole lot of details, but they are still looking for the shooter.
You want my opinion? You want me to say it for the hood? I'm gonna say what the hood been telling me all day. Who give a fuck? Donovan?
Yes, absolutely. That is the saying of the day. And before we kind of comment on this, I want to go back and let you guys know a police officer who attacked Black Lyft passenger has been fired in Atlanta. Some of the facts of that is the Lyft passenger was attacked for not showing his ID. Georgia is not a ID and license state. You don't have to do that. The police officer who was seen on video pressing his weight against a Black Lyft passenger near Atlanta has been terminated. Again, the union is upset that this guy is being terminated because he can't kill a Black person. Deputy Roderick Walker is his name, has been fired from the Clayton County Sheriff's Office following the incident of excessive force. So once again, here we are with these police officers demanding the right to kill Black people, because you don't hear stories of white people or Asians or anybody else being killed, and their union is standing up for them, saying, how dare you? And like we just said here in California, 2 officers got shot, and who gives a shit?
You hate to have that mentality, but I'm only saying what a lot of people wish they could say. Now, I will say I got a lot of police officer friends, male and female, sheriffs, regular police officers, and I know they're good people, so I can kind of decipher who the good ones are some days. But according to what we understand, especially in that station that has been a problem in LA forever, that Compton station, these officers created a gang inside of the police force. And from what I'm understanding, y'all can tell me if I'm wrong, a white supremacist gang, I forgot what they called it. They had skulls on their legs as far as tattoos. So here's the thing. How many times you think you're going to do this and somebody ain't going to clap back? But hold on. When that happened, 30 minutes prior to it happening, I did this video where I'm telling you them young gladiators about to get loose. And then 30 minutes later, it come across the wire. Do you understand that the higher power gives me the words? I'm trying to make you understand all across the country that you can talk whatever you want to talk right now. You can go past whatever legislation you think you're going to pass. But they've hit a spot where they're not having it no more. In the United States of America, whether people want to accept it or not, the police are now a target. We've already heard what they said in Chicago, that if they catch them cops out there with them guns and they doing wrong, they shooting them. So here's my thing. All it would take is for you guys to stop killing innocent people. But you don't want to do it. The politicians don't want to push the buck. So now this is where we at. So I feel bad for those officers' families. Nobody should have to go through it. But I'm talking about the whole overall situation of it being ignored, what they're doing at this point, on behalf of everybody that has, for the Ahmaud Arbery's, the Breonna Taylor's, the George Floyd's. We don't give a fuck.
Hello there. So yeah, actually there's a lot of people who feel the way Gary feels, and I think it's natural at this point. I mean, and it should be said too that there has not been a motive disclosed as to why the shooter did what he did. They're saying that it is a male, and that's pretty much all they have, the description that they have. And the description came from the officers themselves. They were able to radio help and all that other stuff, before it got too bad for them. But a lot of people feel that way. It is like I had a conversation with somebody last night who was, in a way, lamenting for about what happened to the police officers. And I was, a little bit taken aback. I'm like, how dare you care more about police officers than people who are being murdered cold blood in the streets by police officers? Like, feel something for our people before you feel for police officers. Now, I don't advocate at all that police officers are shot or any of that. I don't advocate that anybody is shot. But it's like, you almost want to say, now you see how it feels. Now, how does it feel to have one of your own, attacked in such a senseless manner? Like, there is no rhyme or reason to it, although we can speculate. Maybe the shooter is pissed off with police officers continuing to do what they're doing to people of color, black and brown, but, disproportionately black people. Maybe they're tired of it. And maybe they're like, you know what? Now you get to see how it feels. So at the end of the day, those police officers are more than likely going to get justice. And matter of fact, let's take it back a little bit. You have Trump, who says that the shooter should endure the death penalty, called them animals and all kind of stuff. Biden says that, the shooter should be punished to the fullest extent of the law. And so you have everybody from the top position in the country all the way down to police officers and the Back the Blue crowd who are very adamant about getting justice for those police officers. But those same people, they barely make a tweet when black people are beat up in the streets or murdered and shot 7 times in their back. And so it is kind of hard to feel sensitive or, compassion, if you will, for police officers. It's like, well, it's, what it feels like? It almost feels like we did when OJ got away with it.
Well, you know what? I totally agree with you. I'm not advocating for anybody to harm a police officer. No, I'm not advocating for it. But I definitely don't have anything in me, that would make me have a bad day about this. And I'm just being honest, because these are our people being shot down like dogs and being beat up, knees on their necks. For example, Darryl Smith out in the Fort Bend County constable. I finally got the video of him putting his knee on a suspect's neck. You see what I'm saying? And the thing is you want us to feel this way, and it is what it is. Whether, Shane Holloway, so I heard they were rookies. Hold on. Hearing people say dumb shit like, should we care, or so what if these officers decide to try to make a difference and join the force because they were tired of it too. But this fuck the police mentality will make it impossible for change to happen. Well, guess what? The hood ain't waiting for change to happen no more. We have dealt, God damn it, fuck the police was done in 1998. 1988 by the NWA. 88. This has been going on in LA forever. This is the reason Johnny Cochran became who he was, because he fought the corrupt, and that's what he called it, the corrupt LAPD. So this has been going on. Don't tell us a change is going to come. The only change that has happened in the last 6 months is gotten worse. You could address it any way that you choose to address it. Legislation, defunding, you could do it that way. But you're not doing anything. So you're going to let the young gladiators address it. And I keep telling people, you are outmanned and outgunned. You do not stand a chance. I'm telling you, you don't. So should we feel a certain way? I tell you what, I will feel for them when they decide to put them officers in jail that killed Breonna. I will feel for them when the officers that killed George go to jail. I will feel for them with the brother in Kenosha that was shot in the back. I will feel for them with my man in Lafayette, Louisiana, Trey. I will feel for them then. But until there's justice on our side of the ball, I don't give a damn about the injustice on their side.
I got a question. I want you guys to think about this and just think about this deeply. Here it is. 9/11 happens, very questionable things. The government until this day does not want to release any videos of the hijackers boarding the plane at the airport. If you guys been to the airport, you know there's cameras everywhere. They can't even show you video, okay? 2 LAPD police officers get gunned down and the shooters are on the loose. Now, I don't necessarily live in the hood, but one thing about Black people is we want safety and we want justice just like anybody else. Now, in Minnesota, they found that police officers were inciting riots within the protesting crowds. They were breaking out windows. They were doing all these things. History, the Reichstag fire in Nazi Germany that gave Adolf Hitler ultimate power over the state. Now, I don't know about you guys, but in my experience here in California, everybody knows who does what in the neighborhood. If there's a shooting, we know Ray Ray or Pookie or somebody did this. You mean to tell me that these shooters are on the loose here in LA and they can't find him? And I know some people are going to say, well, you know, they're just not going to shoot police officers and that's it. Yes, they will. The government will make martyrs out of people to get a certain outcome. Because guess what? People want safety, and you got idiots out here who will give up their rights in the facade of being safe. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I've been looking at what's been happening across the country. Black shooters supposedly are on the loose, no description. Asian shooters, what are they? I kind of have my little doubts. Has 2 officers been shot? Yes, they have. But is it an incident that they are using to get more power over us?
Well, they're using their power, they're using the laws to protect these cops. And that's what's making it bad. I'll give you an example. They won't release the video of Trayford, his murder, right? They filed, police union filed an injunction. You know, so be it. We have to go to a press conference and a rally in the morning to try and get this stuff released. Whenever there's a police shooting and it's messed up, they don't want to release the footage. But if they right, they'll release that footage ASAP. Am I right or wrong? I'm right. Because what happened in Lancaster, Pennsylvania last night, when Black America went crazy, when it was another police shooting, just so happened the man ran out the house with the knife. And the cop had no choice but to do what he did. You released that video an hour after it happened. So we know when the shooting ain't right because you won't release the video. But last night, you released that video in less than an hour. And we supposed to feel some type of way? Man, where the Ciroc at, man? These people gonna make me drink something.
Also, with the video from the shooting in LA, they released that video right away as well, trying to get an ID on the suspect. And the description is, I mean, I thought maybe it could have been a woman. So they didn't take a long time to release that surveillance. But Shane says, well, you know, and I'm paraphrasing, but what if those police officers, the rookies, because one of them definitely was a rookie, what if they were trying to make a change? What if they were trying to make a difference? Well, it's said that particular area is known for police gang activity. So I don't necessarily know what they were doing there, but I mean, what we can't play the what if game, right? Because that's what they do to us.
Shane, I'm gonna say it slow. Them young gladiators don't give a fuck right now. All they see is a man or a woman in blue. They're tired. And I mean, you have to understand, I don't condone any type of law breaking. I never condoned it with anybody that lived in my house. None of that. But what's going on has been going on too long. And now it's like every other day somebody getting shot by the police. I'm telling you, I have compassion for them. I work with the Houston Police Department on a lot of personal things in our community. You feel what I'm saying? But them young gladiators, they don't care no more. And this ain't the first time they gonna do it. It ain't gonna be the last time. So what needs to happen, either you get all the young gladiators in a room, or you get all these politicians that we supposed to hold accountable, and they get up in there and they do what they need to do. You need some real police reform. And then we can go back inside our box. And let's just be real, Demetri and Donovan. We can go back inside our box, go work your 9 to 5s, go sling our crack, go do what we do, and you ain't got to worry about us no more. But if you think you're going to keep killing these black folk, and people going to keep watching this on the news, everybody in blue, brown, or whatever they wear, they are now targets, not a target of Gary Monroe, because I ain't going to penitentiary for you. It's too hot right now. I ain't going. If it was cold, I might go. But right now, you are a target of them young gladiators. And I'm telling you, they not having it right now, bro.
And the other thing is, too, let's see the record of those police officers. That's what they do to us when they, murder us cold blood in the streets. Oh, well, they was doing this. And they got a rap sheet this, and they was a woman abuser this, and they did this, and they did. Let's see their police rap sheet. Let's see if they are above board and they were doing everything that they were supposed to. Let's see if they, have some shootings and, police brutality and any of that kind of stuff in their work jackets. We really don't know what the motive of that shooter was. You don't know if he knew them or they've done something to him. I mean, let's play the game that they play with us. Victims, we find out everything from childbirth about the victims, and it's all negative when, police officers are the murderers and they want to dirty them up. So let's see what's in their jacket.
Well, let me ask you a question, Donovan. How do you allow a group of officers to actually create a gang, have a gang culture inside of a police department, and act like you don't know that this exists?
Simple answer. Systematic white supremacy racism. That's the answer. I mean, they're all down with it, and that's what it is. And the sad thing is, you've got your boule blacks that are in there. Let's just talk about the blue line. All the blacks in law enforcement that are on law enforcement police departments, they know this shit is going on. They know evidence lockers being tampered with. People are being and yet they are silent. Why? Because they're worried about a check rather than justice. They're worried about, their promotions and all this other stuff. The chief of police in Portland, white people are going ham up there. The black lady said, screw it, because I'm not getting my way, so I'm going to stand with the blue, and she resigns her position. It's almost like what was that movie, Demetra? Harriet Tubman thing. It was like almost a remake of that. It's just the same type thing. A gang culture within a police department is reality of what is going on with white supremacy and systematic racism, because the police department was formed based on slave catching. And that's the bottom line, and that's their premise.
Well, Demetri, here's a question for you. The police culture in LA County, those that have never been there, you think you're in a movie when you get there. The way you're gonna see it for real. How long has it been in Los Angeles and all those surrounding areas? Because if you've never been there, I mean, you could be in West Hollywood and mess around and be in Inglewood in a heartbeat just by going down the wrong street. So how long, according to Johnny Cochran, what he called them, has the corrupt LA police department, as well as them sheriffs, been doing what they've been doing?
For as long as they have been in existence. You guys ever saw the movie LA Confidential? That movie was set, I think, in the early 50s. And it was a loose adaptation. Well, it was about the LAPD. And it was a loose adaptation of the things that went on. It is a known fact that the LAPD was involved in the mob. You know, they were big time, what do you call it? Running drugs, heroin, and all that. So nothing has changed with the LAPD. That's why I'm not surprised to hear that, you know, they have a gang now. Hell, the LAPD is a gang. You guys remember in the 90s where the officers, the Rampart Division, got caught for they were murdering people, maiming people, setting people up. I mean, just thousands of people, just doing the most to where they had to go in and look inside of all those cases because it was so much corruption. And I want to address Shane. He says if police officers shouldn't have a rap sheet, and if they do, they need to go. Hell, what did George Floyd's murderer have? Derek Chauvin, he had a rap sheet. Most of all those police officers who get caught, like the final act, if you will, when you dig into their past, they have a rap sheet, and they should have been gone a long time ago. And with the officer in Georgia that just got fired, it's one thing to get fired. Hell, he can go get another job. But did he get fired and charged? See, that's the thing. You can get fired and get another job, but charge his ass as if, you know, that was a civilian doing that. Because what he did, he didn't get fired because he kind of did something wrong. He got fired because he beat a man's ass who was in a lift with not only his girlfriend, but his small child, witnessed them damn near kill his daddy over because he asked for his license. He's right. I don't have to give, I'm a passenger. What are you asking for my license for? So he damn near killed this man because he didn't like him questioning him, but he only lost his job. He did not lose his freedom. So while we are big up in Keisha Lance Bottoms, hooray for her firing these officers, but God damn it, they need to go to jail and do some serious time for not only harming that man, but traumatizing that lady and that baby for the rest of their lives.
What we got to do is we can't leave out the ones that really could do something about it. These punk ass attorney generals in all these states that's letting these cops make it, man. That's the only thing I can say about them. You know what I'm saying? Because you got these politicians that's writing letters, you know, for the fraternal order of policemen or police unions, whatever it's called today. You know, you want legislation changed right now to protect the cops, but you don't want any legislation change to protect us. And you think that you can continue to do this. Say, man, the chicken's finna come home to roost, bro. And those of us that are in positions that have platforms, you can't expect for us to show up and feel sorry for, man, you know, they killed Officer so-and-so today. Okay. They killed George back in May. They killed Breonna. You see what I'm saying? So you can't expect for us to keep feeling a certain type of way when you have the ability to do something and you can't do it. Somebody need to get, you know, you want to put some heat on some people. The reason these politicians are quiet is because they get money from these police unions in their campaigns. So they're not going to say anything that would be deemed against the police. But yet you keep letting it get worse. The only thing I can tell you, it's going to be hell to pay when it's all said and done.
Well, I just want to say this. You know, we throw the term hero out there for everything anybody does. Oh, the firefighters, they're heroes. Oh, the soldiers, they're heroes. How the hell are you a hero for doing your job? When a soldier goes to war, okay, and he's failed in the field, yeah, it's unfortunate that happens, but in our minds, what do we really tell ourselves about soldiers? Well, that's his job. You know, he's in the Army, he's in the Marine Corps, you know, he's out there doing what he's got to do. Yeah, we honor him, we give him all that, but he signed up for that job. But in this country, we have made it to where to join the police force, which is voluntary, nobody drafted you to do it or whatever. People join the police force. A lot of them join so they can shoot black people and kill black people. But they join the police force to protect and serve their community or a community, because a lot of the police officers that patrol our neighborhood don't even live nowhere near our community. So they joined to do that, right? Possibly getting killed is part of the job. And it's unfortunate that it does happen in very few instances. But where has it been to where we have to put cops who signed up for a job to get a paycheck above a person who's driving in a car with their family and whatever, didn't sign up for anything, and their lives is less than what a police officer is? If anything, that civilian should be more so, because that is what the officer signed up to protect. He's got a gun and a badge to make sure I make it home, not he feared for his life. What the hell is that? Well, I feared for my life. So your life as a police officer is more important than mine, the person that you're supposed to protect? Come on now. We got to start really reevaluating and thinking of how we look at these police officers. Make them do their damn job. You're damn right you're going to put your life on the line to make sure I get home, not the other way around. Why should I die so that you can get home? You got all the guns, you got the tools, you got the vehicle, you got the law behind you, and yet my loved one is dead? Come on now.
Well, we know that's not what they're going to do. They're not going to, put your life over theirs. It's in some cases they do, but for the most part, they don't. I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and, we were both talking about how a lot of them, are already bloodthirsty, and I would say black bloodthirsty, before they even get on the force. That's why I always argue against this being an issue of training. You can't train a person not to be racist. You know not to shoot somebody in their back, especially if they're running here. I don't have a gun, or I've never been a police officer, but I know that. So I would think that's the kind of stuff they cover in when you first get in there. Don't shoot people in the back. They're not a threat and all that other stuff. But, that's what they want to do. And we talked about this the other day, qualified immunity. They know they can kill people and get away with it. So, I mean, it's really a notch on their belt at that. So.
Well, I tell you what, we gotta, at this point, we gotta evaluate some things, because I just want people to understand. They got more guns than you, Mr. Police Department. You outman Mr. Police Department, but yet you're playing stupid games, but don't expect a stupid prize. And the folks out there that will make the derogatory comments about this subject is because you've never had to deal with them in that manner. You've never been profiled. You've never been through what some of us have been through, and you don't feel what we feel. But, go to one of these funerals, man, and see how that mom is just sitting there because that's her child in the casket. See, when you wake up in the morning, you don't realistically make an agreement. At the end of the day, you'll end up in a body bag. Your family did not make an agreement with somebody that they would have to dig a hole to put your body in. And all it takes is a little patience. Real community policing is what the problem is. Like you said earlier, Donovan, a lot of these cops do not live in the neighborhoods that they patrol. You don't know the people in the neighborhood, so you're automatically in defense mode. They already know when the sun go down. Let's just be real. If I can be real, I ain't gonna be disrespectful. But when the sun go down, here come them white boys. When the sun go down, game gets serious. So you got to understand, this is where we live. This is the rules of engagement when you're dealing with them. When the sun go down, the game get real. Oh, well, we're a very diverse police force, and we have a lot of African-American officers. Well, you must give them all passes at night because they ain't in our neighborhood. All we got is gung-ho Latinos and some white guys that act like they got crosses in their trunks coming through the neighborhood trying to handle people, man. And I'm telling you, folks are tired of it. So either fix it or them young gladiators gonna make you bury a bunch of them.
Yeah, one of the things I notice when it comes to these young white police officers, especially when they're young, because they've got a badge, the way that they talk to our older women and older men in the community. It's almost like watching something out of Gone with the Wind or Roots. They figure, hey, I don't care you got a badge. This is a 55, 60-something-year-old grown man. You should address him with respect. But they talk down to these guys like it's no big thing. And when that older gentleman or lady doesn't comply, they lose their shit. So, the bottom line is just like you're saying, General, people are tired of it. I'm going to say this for Generation Fail. And for those of you guys that don't know what Generation Fail is, that's a term that I coined for those of us that were in the baby boomer generation, or my parents' generation. I'm 50 years old, so my parents' generation. We have tried nonviolence. We have tried patience. We have tried praying. We have tried kneeling. We have tried shuffling. We have tried everything under the sun, except the one thing we need to start doing, and that is stop singing and start swinging. Period.
Now, Donovan, when you say that, you're gonna anger some people. They're gonna say you promoting violence, you're promoting hate when you say that. So, Demetri, when I think of that, and we got to protect Donovan, what would you tell the people about that? Because when you say stop singing and start swinging, that comes from a man that came from a different culture that still exists until this day. And that's something that they believe in. So let me ask you a dumb question, Demetri, because your father was a Muslim. He's a Muslim. Can you ever show me a video, something that show a Muslim brother being attacked by the cops? Y'all know who to mess with.
Well, I haven't personally seen a video of police officers messing with the cops, but we know indeed that they have. Cops messing with Muslims, but we know indeed that they have in the 1960s, the LAPD, as a matter of fact, murdered some Muslim brothers, and it's happened all over the place. And so I personally haven't seen any videos, but they most definitely have murdered Muslims in cold blood. But I would also say this, and we know that stop singing and start swinging comes from that of Malcolm X. That was his ideology, basically stop turning the other cheek. And we start fighting back, then these mofos will start, thinking about it twice before they come trying to handle us. But I will also say that while we are in election season and we're trying to fight over the lesser two evils, both Trump and Biden are very pro-police. Just look at their tweets in regards to this, the shooting of these police officers. Now, I know they should say something, but look at the venom and the austerity that they tweeted. Like, they're pissed off. But when we get a tweet we never get a tweet from Trump, hardly ever, about Black people being shot. But when it's from Biden, he's middle of the road. Well, I'm praying for the family. And, if anything is found, then I'm paraphrasing wrong, then the officers should be held responsible. But it's never anything like they should die and, all that other stuff. And then, Gary, I thought of something when you were saying that the white police officers, when they go into our neighborhoods at night, the term that came to my mind? Nigger hunting niggers. And that's what they do, and we've seen plenty of videos of not just police officers, but white supremacists, saying, but there was one a couple years ago of a white girl who was getting ready to go to the army or something, but she's in the back of a pickup truck with her, white friends or whatever, talking about they're going nigger hunting. So that's exactly what they're doing. Come on, you go into a Black neighborhood where people, for the most part, are minding their business, and all of a sudden you find yourself killing one. You're not going to tell me that was by accident. They went in that neighborhood looking to draw blood.
So let me ask you a question, Demetri. What did Biden and Trump say? Tell me real quick, because I got something fly to say about the officers being killed. What do they think should happen?
Well, the officers are still alive, but Trump said that they should the shooters should get the death penalty. That was I think the last tweet and the tweet before that. He's basically like he called them an animal, and they should be dealt with swiftly. And I don't know exactly the verbiage, but it's the same thing Biden said. Biden said the same thing. They should be dealt with to the fullest extent of the law. So we know that neither one of them wants to defund the police. In fact, they want to give more resources to police officers. And so here we are fighting over who's going to be the next president.
So here's when you go to work in any field that you work in, there are things that may not be safe or something like that. And you know what I would tell Biden and Trump at this point? A police officer that may end up in a situation where he may lose his life, to me, that's an occupational hazard. You signed up for it, homie. You signed up for it. So, this is the thing. They teach officers to shoot center mass. You don't know what center mass is to your stomach. But I always said, gladiators don't shoot center mass. You can't wear no bulletproof helmet. You can, but just in regular, routine. So young gladiators take headshots. Where did they shoot them at? They shot him in the head. That's how you know it's hood, bro. Because they shot him where they couldn't even protect themselves. So, I got one dude on here talking about y'all stupid. No, you're stupid because you think that you can win this war. You think that you can keep doing what you're doing and ain't nobody gonna say nothing. Larry Mayo say wrong is wrong and I don't care who it is, black, white, whatever. Well, if it's wrong, it's wrong. You know that old song, Demetri? If I can't be wrong, I don't want to be right. That's where they at in the hood. They ain't trying to hear it no more, bro. Why you think soon as they kill a black person, they get the Negro pastor and whoever over some government that these people trust and bring them straight to the black neighborhood? They ain't marching in the white neighborhoods. They ain't going to their neighborhoods to make sure they stay calm. They know where the gladiators reside. They know what's on these youngsters' minds, man. But you can't keep doing it and think that they're not going to raise up. They are. Because they're tired, and watch this here. They tired of listening to Negroes like me. I've talked them down too many times, bro. They don't want to hear it no more.
And don't get me wrong, I don't believe we or any other shows out there are advocating violence. Okay, we're not doing that. But human nature is human nature. So we're definitely not going to stop you from doing something that you're going to eventually have to do anyway. We're not going to stop you from doing something that's going to be, your nature. Police officers out there, if you saw that video of the man that was being arrested in Atlanta, they had that guy on the ground and they were choking him out or whatever they were doing. And mass hysteria culminated. How the hell do you choke a man and then tell him to stop resisting and his life is being choked out of him? And because of George Floyd, people now are aware to not stand by and let the police just choke a person out. So you're going to have a problem one way or the other with these police officers and that standoffishness.
Now, Herman Bradford, why don't y'all go help all the hurricane victims and leave all the race shit alone? First of all, let's get something straight, Mr. Herman. So, and I'm going to give you a name so that you can be familiar to the people. Let me tell you something, Herman the Monster. Let me tell you something, homie. Race shit or not, they ain't killing your people. They killing mine. As far as helping the hurricane victims, and you know what? You know how I rock with this politic thing. Why don't you go tell your president to quit deleting the FEMA funds, and then they would have money to send down to Lake Charles to fix that city? So if you want to talk to me, talk to me. I'm not going to fix a goddamn thing. I pay taxes. And there's more than enough money to rebuild Lake Charles the same way they rebuild Miami every year. But Miami is a port. Miami is a big money town. Lake Charles is a pole-ass little country town in southwest Louisiana. That whole Gulf Coast is finna get hit now with another hurricane. And you white folk in Mississippi, I'm from Mississippi. I'm Mississippi. I'm a vote for Johnny if he's running for sheriff. And Johnny don't do a goddamn thing for you when the hurricanes come through. The government don't do nothing for the state of Mississippi. So bottom line, homie, whether you want to call it race shit or not, they killing black folk and black folk tired. Y'all better stay hiding out in the woods, training like you train. Because them young gladiators been training on the streets of Chicago, the streets of Dallas, the streets of Houston, Los Angeles, Oklahoma City. They trained up. And I'm trying to tell you that you ain't ready.
So Herman confirmed what I thought. I can't see very well without my glasses, but Herman says that he is a brother, and what a shame. I just want to know, Herman, because like when I hear black people say, oh, let's not talk about racism, and I see who you in your profile picture with, so that probably has a little bit to do with it. I don't want to really go there, but I just want to know, what kind of butter are they dipping on your biscuits? Is it the premium butter? I mean, like, what kind of butter are you getting as a black man to say, leave that racist shit alone? I mean, come on, man, really? Like, I don't even think we should address Herman anymore. I mean, it just had
to one last time. He said, what did he do before the video started? He was being black. He was being black.
He was a passenger in a car. In most states, you do not have to ID as a passenger. So based on the law, what justification did the police officer have to ask him for his ID?
We're going to call Herman the Q-U-O-O-N. Y'all sound that out. Herman is wilding, but I get it. I see your profile picture. I get it. You know you're going to cape for white supremacy because you know you won't be able to get a good, nice rest. If you don't, you ain't going to get none of the, it's going to be, or you might get the money sex if you don't cape for white supremacy. So I get it. You got a motive to do that. But I want to also say this, you know, NFL's the season has started, football season and all that has started. And it's like, we continue to watch football after we've seen Kaepernick get blackballed, and now they're blackballing Eric Reid. You know, really since 2016, we just gotta be watching football. But do you guys know that the football owners, the team owners, they know Trump, they know a lot of senators and stuff. If black people alone would just shut football down, do you know Roger Goodell and all them will go to the White House and say, listen, we need some damn change around here because we ain't getting no more change, right? But we can't. Like, we are so, like, we're just so driven to be entertained. I wouldn't even want to watch football after what they're doing to those brothers who put it all on the line, and we just continue to Q-U-O-O-N. Because I know when we say that word, we get in trouble around here, so I'm trying to water it on down.
First, I'm gonna tell you this here so y'all can get it. When it started with Cap, I ain't watched no football since. I can hear what's going on, cool. So and so won, cool. I don't even watch TV no more. I'm so fed up with these people. I have not actually watched TV for over 7 months. When I say I'm done, I'm done. And as far as shutting down these stadiums, right now they hurting so bad. If they don't get the 25% of the people they need in there, a bunch of these teams gonna go bankrupt. But see, the people that's playing for them, that are African Americans that have the power to make their owner make a phone call to the man in charge to get some things done, they're not doing it. They're not doing it. If you got every owner from every sports team, baseball, football, and basketball, that all of a sudden their employees didn't show up to work, all this shit will be solved tomorrow. But the question is, you want us to have the nuts on the streets while you continue to make the millions and don't have to do anything. But the youngsters standing up. Some of us standing up in our way. But goddamn, dog, y'all work for the people that could change this.
Donovan actually had to go. He has something to do Monday evening, so he had to get out of here early. But I mean, I don't know. You know, it's just like Herman. I don't even know what to say to you. I mean, I get it. Like I said, I get it. I get why you have to kind of do that. I don't know, maybe if the missus is watching, or, you know, she's not going to give you any seasonless soup if you don't do what she asked. I don't know. I don't even know what your motive is. But yeah, I mean, I just think at the end of the day, we as Black people have more power than we think we do. You know, we need to start shutting this down economically, because that's what they understand. And I'll go back always to what Dr. Muhammad said. We cannot engage in politics without an economy of our own. We don't have money to back up, back us up in politics, then we're just voting endlessly. We're just, talking and marching and protesting in vain. We actually need to snatch our Black dollars, 97% of $1.3 trillion out of this oppressive society, and start building our own stuff. That's when they being white supremacy starts to pay attention. You guys think, not you guys, because you guys are very intelligent, that the civil rights movement was started, to really give Black people a sense of freedom. That's bullshit. It was started to get Black dollars. They realized at the time we had about $15 billion that we were keeping predominantly to ourselves. And so it was a calculated move to get our money, because at the time, the white people were struggling. They weren't, so firm in their job and their economy. So they systematically went about getting our dollars. And that was, okay, well, let's integrate with them. Let's go ahead and mix it up. But the ultimate goal was to get their money. And they've been getting almost every dime that we've had ever since.
So what you're basically saying is that integration was a mistake.
No, it wasn't a mistake. It was by design. We thought that it was done really to help us. Oh, white people love us all of a sudden. They want to live next door to us. No, and they wanted our money, and it's worked.
Herman said, you look for race, you're going to find it. Black is the most racist race. Another comment Herman made, no, I'm being me. I'm just tired of this race shit every day. Well, I tell you what. I got a weakness, and it's pretty Black women. You probably wouldn't understand that, but I like pretty Black women. I like buying my stuff from Black-owned businesses. Now, if you like where you live and you comfortable with your surroundings and you just living a gung-ho happy life, then I want you to remember this. What did they call OJ when it was all over? Because he was accepted by them. He was one of them. He lived in Brentwood amongst them. When it was all said and done, Herman, they reminded him that he was a nigger. So no matter what you may think, my African brother, you are no better than we are. And you are a far bigger target with your situation than I will ever be. You better be careful, homie. Because if somebody say you did something to her, they gonna throw your niggerish ass under the penitentiary.
And I 100% agree with you. He's more in more danger than anybody is. I mean, they don't want him with her. I know to Herman, she's a prize, and I don't want to disrespect your wife, your girlfriend, or whoever she is. But, they don't want you with her at all. But, the cold part is well, I can't remember who said it, but, and I'm going to quote somebody when they say they have their nigga wake up moment. When they have that epiphany, like, oh my God, they don't like my Black ass either. That's when it's the most brutal for people like him, because he's running around talking about, well, Black people and racism. First of all, Black people can't be racist. In order for Black people to be racist, we have to be able to control and affect or stop a whole other race of people. through systematic and institutional means. We don't own corporations. We don't own educational systems and jobs and, control the economy. White people do that. So we can't be racist. Now, we can discriminate and be prejudiced, but as far as racist, we cannot be that. So I'd impress upon you, Herman, maybe turn off Fox News. And I know you got to do it because, you married into a white family. You got to watch Fox News, but turn it off a little bit and actually dig into those books so you can find out more about yourself. Because it may not be today, but one day you're going to have your wake up moment. And I swear for God, you ain't going to believe it.
Yeah, Paul Mooney said it best, is a nigger moment. I want you to understand something, that I'm not racist, Herman. I can't count the number of white friends that I got, the number of Asians, the number of Latinos, the number of gay friends. I can't count them. I don't even try. But I also know where I stand with certain people. They know where they stand with me. I know where I stand with them. When you start drinking the Kool-Aid and you thinking, oh, it ain't about color, they got you. They got you. And I always want you to remember that when they get you, we're going to pull your black card. Because we don't want you back. We don't want you back. So I need you to don't get offended, because these are the things that come with it, brother. This is an occupational hazard. Ain't nothing wrong with being a wigger, Herman. Just accept who you are. See, over here, we pro-black, brother. And the reason that you can't relate to what's going on with the police, you don't live in a neighborhood where it happens. And I want you to understand, when you look around and you look out your front door and you look to the left, you look to the right, and your white neighbors are standing there and they're watering the grass, I want you to understand that they are tolerating you. They don't like you. They're tolerating you. It is what it is. My brother, I got love for you. I'm not telling you to get a divorce or let your girlfriend go or nothing like that. I just need you to wake up and understand that you live in the United States of America. And you are a target, just like we are.
And who the crazy part is, I guess Herman is, the subject of the moment. But you know who they run to when they do get that wake-up call? They run back to their people. I'm going to go back to my people. Because, OJ ran back to his people for a moment. And then, we rallied and ran and raved when he got free. I remember the exact moment where I was that day when he got a not guilty verdict. Yeah, I was getting ready to turn on to, I remember everywhere, and I could see in different cars the different emotions of, white people was mad and, black people was celebrating and stuff like that. But they always run back to us. And then when they are not in trouble anymore, what do? They go back to white people. Omarosa, when she, got literally thrown up out the White House, what did she say? My people. Oh, we your people now, huh? But it's like, no, keep all that same energy when you shoveling all the butter biscuits in that you can get from Master's table. Remember that. Because when you come back to your people, we're not always accepting of that. And I always tell people, go look up the story of Step and Fetch It. Last name was Perry. He had a whole bunch of Lincoln, Washington, Jefferson. That was his first name, but his last name, Perry. Step and Fetch It. Look up his story and look what happened when he tried to come back to his people. Us. We was like, we good. Thank you.
Well, that's what you do. You pull a black card. And right now, with what we're dealing with law enforcement, I'm gonna pull your black card tonight, Herman. You will no longer be able to tune in to a strong black program after tonight. Enjoy your time. Am I saying you don't have a right to an opinion? Yes, you do. But on this program, you're gonna be black.
Well, you know what?
If you're black, you're gonna be black.
I would say that don't let them stay. Because Herman, I'm not mad at you. I get it. Everybody has to come into their awakening during their own time. I think he needs to stay so that he can learn some things. I'm sure there's some things we can learn from you, just not the stuff you talking tonight. But he can learn something from us if he stays. I mean, because he probably doesn't know what he doesn't know. He's comfortable in his world, not trying to disrespect your wife, but with a white woman in a white world, everything is okay from what he sees. But he needs to, get some of this education because maybe he just doesn't know. I'm assuming.
I'm just trying to figure out, did he go to the Million Man March or to the local Klan rally? Which one you went to, homeboy? Because if you went to the Million Man March, you right where we at right now. And you didn't even have to go. You just need to watch it. So I'm gonna get off Herman, but I really think that that at the end of the day, they need to do something. They need to address it because the problem is about to escalate. Final thoughts, Ms. Dimitri.
Yeah, I mean, my final thoughts is exactly what you said. I mean, if police officers don't like having one of their own harmed, ambushed, or murdered, then they need to take that into account when they're doing it to innocent people. I mean, we'll have to take them at their word that they were just sitting and, doing what police officers do. But that's the same thing with our people, specifically Breonna Taylor, who has not gotten justice. And, the Black Attorney General, he's like, and you know what? You know who he's married to as well? The Black Attorney General was Daniel some damn body. He's married to a white woman. And he doesn't feel it that, Breonna Taylor's murderers need to be brought to justice at all. He's shrugging his shoulders at the whole thing. He went to an engagement party during this time. He got married, and he's like, I don't really see nothing here. Past that green bean casserole, Karen. I don't know. So yeah, do unto others as you will have them do unto you.
I'm gonna say this here that I like banishing people because even God got tired of Satan, and sometimes you got to kick him out your heaven. But I ain't gonna kick him out of heaven. I'm gonna leave him here. I'm gonna leave him here. And I will say this here, that if you're not in tune with being black, then we understand. But don't, try to admonish us for our stance for our people. Because we've seen enough. We've been through enough. I mean, it is what it is. When I first got involved with law enforcement back in the day, it was because I got tired of them arresting my partner every day and giving him a fine and not giving him a ticket or taking him to jail to post bond. They would give him a fine every day because they thought he was selling dope. So my first interaction with the police was to go to internal affairs with him to file a complaint. That was back in 1991. It's just enough is enough. And just fair warning, man. Either they do something about it or them young gladiators gonna get loose again, man. Oh, it's coming. I'm telling y'all, it's no more talking about it with these cats. I'm telling y'all, I'm out there, I'm dealing with these youngsters, man. And you do not want to deal with these youngsters. Because y'all done pumped them full of all that medication. You put them on in school. You done made them half retarded with the immunizations, and now you got to deal with them. Welcome to our world, homie. Say, another spirited discussion with the best in the business, man. My good friend Donovan Sadiq had to leave to go to class, but got mad love for him. On behalf of the Queen, Dimitri K, I am the 5-star general. Say, man. Oh, by the way, I took my endorsement away from Judge Ursula Hall, and I gave it to Bruce Bain. And Wednesday night, I'm gonna tell you why when Spencer Falwell comes on the show. Because you is Judge Ursula and you're shitting on him. Until tomorrow, 7 o'clock, I holler at y'all, man.